Okay, I think we're back on. Anyway, survey questions are real similar to what we talked about in the thing. So, and you can see here, this is the interesting part, and I'll break it down for you in a second because this is really an overwhelming graph. But this is essentially comparing that qualitative stuff to the survey information. The orange line is the frequency, and the yellow, no, I take that back. This is comparing frequency to perception of importance. So, in the surveys, for example, they said that, hang on, all right, the red, or it looks orange here, is how often teachers chose to reflect the demographics of their classroom versus how important they thought it actually was. So you can see how this would be books from home, how important they did it versus how often they did it. This would be this is the frequency. This is importance, frequency, importance. This is your program does it, importance, anyway, frequency of importance all the way through. Research, I thought that was an interesting one, which does not surprise me at all. You think it's really important, but you don't really go by the research to do it. So, to change the mood of a classroom, that question said something like, if the kids are wild, do you read a book to the kids? And how important is that versus how frequently you do it? Then this one here was to solve problems in a classroom. How frequently you do it versus how important you do it. I thought that one was interesting. This would be because it was purchased for you, it was close at hand, a colleague recommended it to you. But essentially, when I triangulated the data, which just means I took all of the different things and tried to draw some conclusion based on everything, commonalities among the elements, which we tried to figure out what impacted, just answer the questions. We found that there's a strong emphasis of support of academic concepts, meaning you all really wanted to do the academics. You emphasize the use of Teacher Loud to support affective for educational experiences, especially child preferences. So everybody wanted to do what the kids preferred. And the balance between frequency and importance seemed equal in the qualitative data, meaning pretty much what you reported was important, you also did the same amount of time. But then when the surveys came out, people thought things were, there was a stronger indication of what was important versus how frequently they actually reported doing it. These are just the limitations, things that, what might have impacted the study. A small number of teachers, I only observed 3 teachers. Make sure you got, one of the big things I think that has happened with this study, I'm going to have to figure out how to fix that for my dissertation, is teachers know what they're supposed to do with Teacher Read Aloud, and it's really hard to get at what they really do. And that's why I think this survey is so important, because it kind of, when I'm talking to you, you know what's supposed to happen, and you know what you do, and it's just harder to get what really occurs, whereas if it's a little more separated, I think we get a little more accurate picture of what really is happening in the classrooms. And then these are just some of my references. And that's it. That's what we found when we talked to you.
Very interesting.
Isn't it interesting?
It is very interesting. So that's what your dissertation is.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do my dissertation as an offshoot of this and talk, just survey a larger amount of teachers and see. I really would like to be able to use the information to then be able to come back and say, here's some things we can do that might enhance Teacher Read Aloud, make it more effective for the kids. Whether it's, I don't know, I haven't gotten there yet of what it might be, but so.
Very good. You get an A.
Thank you.